Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming along this afternoon to Warriors Fan Forum. Got to say hello to everybody who's watching on the live stream right across the world as well, so thank you so much. For everybody on the live stream, you can suggest questions online. Check out the description on the video and you'll find the link to do that, and of course we'll do Q&A in the room as well. So before we go any further, it's a lovely day today, so thanks for taking your time to come and see us today, because this is actually really important for the team going forward. And with the team going forward, that leads me nicely to introduce the brand new head coach and general manager. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Hand and Willie Dunn.
Clapping now, you'll be booing in a couple of minutes. It's only a matter of time. Just to echo what Andy, everybody hear me okay, yeah, at the back, because there is still seats here. My name's Willie Dunn, I'm the new GM of the Whitley Warriors. Thank you for coming along. We've been bowled over since we've been appointed, and the support that we've had from fans, both virtually and in person, and I think we all share the same vision for the club going forward, and that's quite simply to win. That's what we want to do. To do that, though, we need your help, we need your support, we need the support and help of sponsors as well to allow us to do that, but also we need to change the way that the club has been. We need to change, not dramatically, I hasten to add, we need to change the way in which we approach games, in which we approach the fans, in which we approach everything that we do. And what we believe we can bring to the Warriors is as a professional approach to hockey on and off the ice. So I'll be going over some of the things that we're hoping to achieve and do off the ice, and Tony will deal with all the hard questions about on the ice. Firstly, I mean, what we're going to be doing this season, we need to bring more money into the club. We need to bring more fans into the club. So we're going to be marketing the club like never before through social media, but also in person. Somebody said to me last night, you know, we only ever talk to people who are our current fans, and we don't talk to the people who are out there in the northeast of England. So that's going to change. We're going to show people a side of the Warriors that they're proud to be a Warrior, proud to be a part of this club. So that will be through merchandising and through strips, which I'll come to in a minute, and through everything that we do. Changes that we're going to be making this year, for instance, it's looking highly likely that we're going to allow supporters on the buses for the away games. For travels, they will be booked in advance online. You don't turn up, we keep your money. Simple as that. So that'll help bring money in, but it also somebody has to stand guard, probably me, between the fans and the players to make sure everything's fine. But we're hoping to do that and get a bigger bus to be able to do that, to make it comfortable for the players as well. So we're doing that. I'm laughing because I explained to somebody what I'm about to explain to you, and it took me 3 days right, to do it. By the way, I think I do have subtitles on the live stream for anybody who is struggling. We're going to introduce an own and loan for Christmas, and we're going to have the player sponsorship as well. Elaine, do you want to tell people what own and loan is? That's the person that took 3 days to understand. The own and loan for Christmas, and it's perfectly simple, will be that you can get an own and loan strip from the player, so you can pay for your favourite player's own and loan strip, but you get it at Christmas, not at the end of the season. So you can buy it for gifts for friends and loved ones and dogs and aunties and whatever. And in this room, on our last home game prior to Christmas, we'll have a Christmas party and a Christmas event where you'll be presented with your shirt from the player. Now, where Elaine kind of got a bit confused is, well, what they're going to wear for the rest of the season. And if I sponsor a player's shirt, how come somebody else is going to get it if they're the sponsor, they're the own and loan? So what we do is we actually have 2 sets of strips, right? We buy new sets of strips for the season, and that's where the player sponsor comes in. The player sponsor traditionally here would get a shirt, and the money that they put in would go towards help playing for the player's kit. That will remain, but from Christmas time, when the second sets of strips come in, the sponsor's name will also be on the strip. So it will be sponsored by, you know, Elaine, if she can ever figure it out, and whatever. And they'll get that strip at the end of the season, signed by the players, and they'll have their name actually on the strip as well. But the percentage of the sponsorship will go in to help, you know, fund the kit and the equipment. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing.
Is everybody in this?
Any questions on that? Elaine has been well briefed over the last few weeks on how we're going to do that. So that's one of the changes. Match night experience as well. Andy and I have been chatting about that, how we're going to try and make that better, entrances for the players when they're coming on the ice, lighting and all of that kind of thing. Also, which I've toyed with, we're going to introduce a mascot. It is not, however, going to be a Native American Indian. Too far, even for the northeast England, that's just too far. But we're going to, I've got one in our head that I'm looking at that we're going to introduce, which will be great for the kids, and that's part of the thing. We want to make it a family experience from the background that we had at Murrayfield. You'll remember Rocky Racer, because he was here as well when we were on away trips, and the kids just love that type of thing, and that's what we want to do. We want to raise the whole match night, raise the whole approach that the Warriors have, and the rink will be using that as well, probably when it has events, or if we're going out to schools and whatever to take the message to them, and that person, well, the suit will be critical. We'll have to find somebody to fill the suit, and they have to skate. Because one of the things we're going to do is have the kids coming out with the team as well, with the flags and the mascot and all that kind of thing. We're going to raise it up. It won't be perfect at the start, and the start won't be the end. The start will be the start, and we'll build it up and make it a much better match night experience. And then hopefully we'll win, which helps, right, to create that atmosphere. But even if we don't, we'll still have a good night, and that's what I suppose it's kind of all about. Strips, tops. Everybody has their favourite shirt. Everybody has their favourite style of shirt. In this place, the colours are obviously maroon, white and gold. And people love that. And then when they're handed a strip, they moan about it. Because everybody moans about strips they don't like, and some people love them and some people don't. So what we've decided to do this year, Andy, is to give you 4 options. There's a QR code which will appear on here as well, and you can vote now. You can vote online through the website. It should be going live in a day or so. And it's going to go for the next 4 days for a vote, and then we'll announce which is going to be the kit. So whether it's rubbish and it's wrong, it's your fault, because you will be voting for them. People on the live stream and people here, and the players as well, because players have opinions about strips. So they will all be able to vote. But this is part of our philosophy about fan engagement. And they're all talking now, Tony. They're all talking now. Oh, I don't like that one. I don't like the dots. That looks like Billingham. I've heard it all. Right? So this is all part of the fan engagement and about getting people involved and making it your club. It is your club. It's not mine. It's not Tony's. It's not even the owners of the Rinks Club. It's your club, and we're just the custodians of it. So we want to engage as much as possible with the fans over the period that we're here, years, weeks, if we get beat all the time, months or whatever. But at the end of the day, your opinions matter. It doesn't mean we'll always take them on board, because you're not always right, and we're not always right. We're going to make mistakes, you guys are going to make mistakes, but the shared vision for us is to create a club and a legacy that's going to last for years and take the Warriors, not back to where they are, but back to where they should have always been. And that is a well-run club, a club that is professional on and off the ice, and a club that engages with the fans. So I'm going to sit down, because I've had enough of me. Tony's going to stand up and talk about the easy part of getting the team together, and then after that we can have a Q&A over everything that we've said, and listen to you guys, because part of this is about listening as well, and I'm sure there'll be lots of complaints about stuff. But always remember that there's a line in the sand now. Things that have been in the past have been in the past. Things that are going to be in the future are coming our way, and it's up to us to deliver the future. We're learning some of the mistakes of the past. Okay?
Hi everybody. Just thanks for everyone for coming here. I'll just give you a sort of brief outlay about where we are with the team, because obviously things are moving. It's quite a fluid situation. When we first got spoken to Francis and the family down here, again, it was about 6-7 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer ago. The enthusiasm for the team and the club to do well was definitely there, and that's one thing. I was engaged right away. I thought, again, there's something good can happen here, and that's not to say there's been good things in the past. I think, obviously, I have respect to David Longstaff and who was running the team previous to in the last 6-7 years. Done a great job, okay? But for us, we have to sort of come here and sort of put our stamp on the team and put our stamp on the club to let us show what we can do So we came down here, we had a good think about it, and we thought this club has got so much history, has got so much sort of belief that to do well. We were sold right away. So in the meantime, I had to go around and try and phone around, get the team together, and the players have been first class. Okay, I phoned them up individually, spoke to Sean, got the numbers, spoke to a few other players, and to be honest with you, every one of them, the enthusiasm to do well and to win, when I was speaking to them, was something I was really happy to hear. So you can see by the signings we've probably got 3 or 4 signings to make. I did contact some players. Obviously I'm not giving names out. Decided that maybe they were going to move on to other clubs. In the meantime, I'd obviously maybe replaced them, which was going to come out. So the thing that's moving all the time. But in the meantime, I'm really happy to get the core of the club back. We still need to we've got 2 imports to sign. We've still got at least 1 more Brit. And obviously I'm speaking to a number of players as obviously we're talking here just now. So I'm really excited for the season. As Willie says, we're here to win. If we can deliver that, that's what will obviously be decided in months or years to come. But we'd like to give it a shot. And as I say, having a meeting with the players earlier on today, again, they're definitely up for the challenge. We need you guys to support us, I say, because as Willie said earlier on, we don't get it right all the time. Again, we're going to make mistakes. I'll make mistakes. Players will make mistakes. General management make mistakes. Everybody, but it's how we actually react to these mistakes, or anything we see that can help improve the club on and off the ice. So, for a player's point of view, for a coach's point of view, I'm really happy with the squad we've got. We've still got a few young guys who probably, if we're bringing them in, maybe a little bit too early, but we can develop them. And obviously, talking about with the juniors, it's important for us to work with the juniors, even though we don't run the juniors. We would obviously, Willie, I know Willie, you've spoken to people in charge, or the coaches who are actually working with them, but it's important for us just for the youngsters to get an opportunity, and again, if it's not this year, next year, that they can see a pathway from the juniors right to the Warriors. Because if they don't, what's the point of the kids playing hockey? Just get to a level and say, by the way, there's no opportunity for you guys. Okay, but for us, we have to make that opportunity happen, but it'll take us a little bit of time, because at the end of the day, we're not throwing the youngsters into Lions Den. With a few good players who retired last year, which obviously give us a little bit of a gap in the squad. But again, we work in the players over the course of the season to help again get them to that level that you guys will be proud to come and watch them each week. And one thing I can guarantee you, again, we won't lose for the want of a competition or want to try and, okay, because that's non-negotiable for me as a coach. Again, the effort level is always got to be there. If you guys are coming along and supporting them and paying your good hard-earned money to come and watch the players, it's important for our players to give you the effort that you guys obviously deserve. And that's as much as I can say. And I'm just sort of really looking forward to the season start. I wish I had more information on players, but obviously things are moving forward all the time. And I just want to obviously keep that quiet in the meantime. But as I say, I'll let Willie get back, because Willie's a lot better at speaking to the public than I am. So anyway, I'll take your Q&As later on, but Willie, you want to take over?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Cheers.
So we're going to throw it open to a bit of Q&A now. So do we have any questions in the room to begin with? I've got loads from online, but we'll start in the room if we can. So any questions in the room? What's your question?
You say you're going to sign another 2 imports yet. Have you got anybody lined up, taking off 2 forwards or forward defence?
We're looking for, I'll be straight, we were looking for forwards right now, throughout the team. I had spoken to Phil, and he's in Canada just now. That's one that's as a possibility. It's not guaranteed yet, but we're obviously looking. I'm looking for somebody who's more another import who's, how do you explain it, like a standout player for the team. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment.
Okay, just for the people on the live stream who might not hear that, the question was, what are we looking for in input? Any more questions in the room? We have a question at the back. Go on, Bitch, I'll let you do this into the microphone yourself. Go on.
Are you looking at putting on season tickets for this season?
Well, that's actually one of the questions. It's three of the questions, actually, from online. Are we looking at doing season tickets this season?
I'll take this one. He thinks coaching's easy. No, but yes. Right? Forever the politician. Part of when we were talking with the owners, one of the biggest things for me is about season tickets. For me, season tickets are more than just you got your ticket and you come and watch the hockey. It can give us a CRM, it gives us a database of people that we can email, we know who our fans are, we know where they live, and all the rest of the things. It's a very important part of marketing strategies and going forward and how we communicate with people. The rink have informed us that they're actually putting in a new ticketing system. It's not going to be ready for this season. However, there is going to be trials, probably for the first game, a friendly game, if we have one, that they'll be able to buy tickets online for a certain number because they want to try these things to make sure they work before they go forward with a season ticket system that could crash and doesn't deliver. Same with the online tickets before the games, to be purchased before the games are going to be linked to some idea that I'm working on just now as well. But we want to reduce the queue outside because we believe there's going to be a hell of a lot more people wanting to see us. So we're working with the rink on that and we'll hopefully have a solution. One of the things you saw today was scanning QR codes when you came in or barcodes when you came in and how easily and seamless that generally is. That's a proof of concept for me to say this is how we can do this and this is how we do it. Other issue is a lot of the seats aren't numbered. So having a season ticket one and maybe just limiting it to start when you just put stickers on the season ticket seats anyway may work. So the answer for this season is probably not no, but you'll see trials and you'll see movements that do that over the course of the season where we try and change things and make things. One of the things we are doing though is a sponsors lounge in this room where we're going to have a room divider and make this a little bit smaller with tables and chairs, and so people who are sponsors will get sponsors tickets and they won't be part of the queue system, which will reduce people who are in the queues, and they'll be putting money hopefully into the club, and they'll be here probably an hour before the doors normally open, and that's something we're working with about this trial, is to have the ticket where you would get in an hour before so it would be 4 o'clock normally, so it would be 3 o'clock, so you could only go in the bar though, and the sponsors can only be in the sponsors lounge. But it gives them that feeling of being better, but it gives them that opportunity to be here. But also post-match, we didn't touch about this today actually, Tony, post-match we'll be expecting the players to come up as well as to socialise and with the sponsors and in the bars as well, which makes it, you know, more, the benefit of that for us is we give the sponsors something that is the sponsors' lounge, that is theirs. We'll make them more comfortable when they come to the rink and they can go and see it. We can interact with the players. But for the fans as well, it's about making it easier to get into the rink, as easy as possible to get into the rink, while still maintaining the issues that the rink have, and there's real issues about security and about people opening doors and all the rest of these issues that have happened over the years. So there's a balance to be had here, and we're hoping and we're finding it. One thing I will say, when Tony and I went to coming down here for the first meeting, there was a kind of negativity about the rink, and we'd seen this in Murrayfield as well with a full established family rink. We've had nothing but positivity from the owners of the rink. We are pushing an open door, we're trying to introduce new ideas, and they're very willing to work with us because they see that we're taking us on a journey. And so some of the old stuff in the past was all there for very, very good reasons. We're trying to take the club to the future and take us forward. And season tickets, online ticketing, all of that is something that we're looking to work with in partnership with the rink.
At the very beginning of that exceptionally comprehensive answer,
no, was the answer. Yeah.
There was mention of a friendly.
Mm.
Can you elaborate on that? Is there anything you can tell us at the minute, or is it watch this space?
It's a bit of watch the space. We are speaking to the club. We're just waiting to get confirmed dates from the rink, and then that would be announced. And obviously the two clubs could announce it. But yeah, they definitely have to pre-season friendly at least a couple of games to get the players prepared for the season.
I think we've missed that over the last few seasons, haven't we, guys? Some questions from online then. Will there be opportunities for fans to meet players for official photographs and signatures? Also, can we get updates when players are injured?
Yes.
Just carry on if that's really, if he's happy, just carry on.
Feast or famine, isn't it?
Well, we'll hold events where you can have the photographs with the players and things, whether it's shirt sponsors or other things, or post-matches in the bars and that. But in terms of the updates, yeah.
The only thing is sometimes with injuries, you do try to keep them a little bit confidential because it might be a lower, if you're playing against a player who's got a shoulder injury and you know about it, other teams can maybe sort of highlight that. So it depending on the situation. It's obviously if someone, God forbid, breaks their leg, that's going to be out there, you know what I mean? But if it's something just like a mild injury, then we'll keep things to ourselves. And if someone leaves the club, of course, we would notify that within an hour if they've left. So that's not.
Okay, one more from online for the minute. Something Willie touched on earlier on. Will there be opportunities for young skaters to help out on game night? Now, you've already mentioned flag bearers, mascots at the start of the night. Is there anything else?
Yeah, one of the other things we're looking to introduce, something we did quite successfully again at Murrayfield, was working with the juniors to, not every week, but every month or 2 months, is between the first and the second period, is to have a short-sided game with the junior teams playing against each other. Particularly, I had a conversation with this with somebody and I came out with something that I shouldn't have said. I quite like the young kids, but when it's the youngsters, the smallest ones who are there working and trying their hardest on the rink, people love it and get behind them and they cheer when there's goals. But for the kids, it's an experience to play to hopefully a large crowd and play on the ice that their heroes are hopefully winning on. So yes is the answer to that. But also maybe the other ways as well with the chucking the tennis ball thing. I know figure skaters do that. We might rotate it with the hockey kids or whatever, just to make sure there's balance there. But definitely yes, because that's the future.
We do have a lot of questions regarding things like scoreboard, nets, the ice. A lot of that is kind of ongoing rink maintenance, so I don't know how much you can say about that.
Well, in terms of the scoreboard, they've got new bulbs. But the bulbs that they sent, half of them had the wrong end on them. So at the moment, you'll notice that the scoreboard, the actual clock part of it works, but the other bit isn't. But it's taken the rink ages to actually source the bulbs for it. They looked at purchasing a new scoreboard, but it was a real expensive thing to do, both for placing it, but actually buying the equipment. So the bulbs are here. There was ones put in last week, and the other bulbs are there on that one. Nets. Tony got introduced to the nets as we're walking around. It's something that we would like to maybe speak to the rink about as well. That doesn't mean we'll get them. It just means we can speak to them.
Shy Ben's getting out. Yes, sir. Shout up.
Skippy's obviously sitting over there. So
I was going to say that Skippy hasn't said anything yet.
who's he 2 years?
Sorry?
If Skippy's sitting up there looking to take it, he's new captain.
He asked us to come and sit here. Like, I says no, but I says, look, just come up.
We thought he was a fan.
So, for the benefit of everyone on the live stream, in case they didn't hear that, the question was, do we have captain and alternates picked out yet?
It's to be honest, I think something I've not really thought about, but I don't see it changing much. I need to see the players and speak to them at the start of the year, because even today I only met some of the players for the first time, and sometimes when you see players, like I've seen them on the ice and I've seen them on videos, but when you see them here, you're like, I'm not very sure which is again obviously there's you, especially the youngsters, like I knew Sean and all that sort of, all the guys I've sort of played against or sort of coached against, but I don't see the captaincies. Again, obviously Dean, I think Dean was the captain last year, so obviously we need a new captain, but obviously the same, I would imagine similar players would be in the sort of similar positions, maybe just moved around a little bit. But I won't know that, because I like to see guys at the first practice and like to see how guys in the dressing room, and because we've got probably 2 or 3 weeks of pre-season at practice, and then we'll be able to figure out which guys are the leaders and which ones are going to follow the followers to a certain extent. But yeah, it's not going to change much, I would imagine.
No fancy putting your skates back
Off. No, I'm way past that stage. Way past that.
Thanks for your question. Any more questions?
What about families that have got more than a couple of kids and they can't bring them? Is there any way of reducing the price of them, like you do some places for under 16s?
So again, for the live stream, the question was about families with quite with a few kids who it's quite expensive to get in for. Is there anything we can do with the price?
The pricing and the entry to the rink is the rink's. It's not something that the team can do, but I do know they do a family ticket, as far as I'm aware, which helps but doesn't achieve it. One of the things that we did at Murrayfield, we let kids in for free. That's not a model you can do here with the cost base. Now, if we were back at Murrayfield, we would not be doing that now either. But it was again to bring youngsters in. It's something which I think when it comes to pricing, the rink will take on board in terms of how they price it and to encourage people at the same time. Hockey is a relatively cheap form of entertainment in comparison to some, not if you're playing it though. But it is also has to be priced at a level that sustains the organisation going forward. So, but there is a family ticket, and we'll see when I don't know what the prices are going to be next year, so we can see what they are. Okay.
Thanks, Willie. A question online: will face-off times change?
No.
Nope. 5 p.m. Sunday. Sunday night is hockey night in Whitley Bay. Any more questions in the room?
Randy.
Tony, fire away.
Who are you most looking forward to playing against this season?
Who are you most looking forward to playing against this season?
Well, I think obviously the rivals I was at Shane Solway's Italy. I know Solway done fantastic last year, but I was really looking forward to playing against them next year because I know it would be a challenge for us. Obviously, Billingham is the closest rivals, and I know that's quite a close rival. So obviously looking forward to the game, but I'm more looking at the bigger picture about is the team doing really well and winning the competition. So it's difficult to say who you're going to play because I haven't actually seen the teams, the teams, but probably it would be Billingham because they're rivals, so it would be common sense to the guys. But I think there'll be other teams that are going to be better next year as well. So again, I'm looking forward to playing all the teams. Sorry?
You will got my full support.
I will do. Thank you very much. Cheers.
And I promised Tony took a picture as well, so he wants a picture with you, Tony.
Right.
Any more? Any more questions?
Over there. And
Gent at the back there.
Hi, Jeff.
Shout up.
In other sports, we talk about a 1, a 3, and a 5-year plan. I was just wondering, I know it's early doors, but is that something you guys have spoken about so far?
So for the benefit of the live stream, other sports have like a 1, 3, and 5 year plan.
You always have a long-term plan when you're looking at. Sorry, can you see me? Can you hear me? Yeah. Sorry. You're always having a long-term plan when you're looking down the road, especially with younger players, and you're trying to develop them and make sure there's a pathway for the youngsters to actually get developed. Because, as I said before, Willie and I we're a 1 year can sort of shook the hands on a 1 year contract or not contract, but agreement here, and to see how we do here. But I think, as you say, as a team, you can't just go a year at a time. But that's why it's really important for us to have some sort of relationship with the juniors to help make sure that they're older players who are basically coming out of their system, or possibly just at the end or their system, who are maybe good enough to come and train with us or possibly play up. Then yes, definitely that's something we want to look at. But as you say, you should always have a long-term plan, regardless if it's like if you only got one. We've got an agreement for 1 year, but even as a club or an organisation, you have to have that sort of end goal. And our end goal is basically to develop the players who are here, regardless of what age they are. Cheers, thank you.
On the subject of long-term plan, the question just came in just literally this second. What are long-term goals, in particularly this bit? Is there an idea to follow Solway's footsteps in, it's just jumped, in moving up a league?
do we do?
You do. It's a difficult question.
I would like to say yes, but financially that's not possible at the moment. It's not possible for Solway at the moment, by the way, because they've had a huge investment, and good luck to them in the league, but the geography of that scares me, and the price of that scares me. To give you an idea, that a budget for a national team is probably 5 to 6 times what a budget is for a team in this league. Now, if we're having 2,500 people every week at the game and we're winning and we've developed the young players, there's a strong argument for that. My view is, but only if there's a National League North. Like if there's a conference system, maybe a couple of teams in Edinburgh and Solway and wherever, that makes financial sense and it makes logistical sense. But there's also about the number of players that you need as well. So it's not going to happen anytime soon, I don't think. But what we have to do is be ready for any opportunities that come at us as a club, both on and off the ice. And if something comes that is financially viable, because what you don't want to do is go into a league and then be bust, because we've seen it how many times with how many teams and how many leagues in the UK over the years. What we want to be is sustainable. So the idea is to make us fit on and off the ice to grasp opportunities if they come, but those opportunities have to be financially led, and we have to have the support of the fans.
I would actually say that's even if the rink ever decided that's the route they want to take, but I would seriously think that's years down the road. Like that's not happening any day soon, because it's an impact. So you got to remember the players are putting a lot of time and effort and come to practice, keeping in shape during the week, going to the games at the weekend. Well, the NIHL is they're basically playing 60 games a year possibly. I don't know how many times they're practicing a week. And a lot of our players have got jobs, they've got families, they've got commitments. So we have to take that into consideration when you're looking at it. And I think the NIHL, I think you're actually being a bit pessimistic when you're saying it's 6 times. I would say it's a lot more than that. What it costs to actually run a NIHL team, because they're more or less a lot of them are sort of professional teams now. So, but you say good luck to Solway. I mean, they've done fantastic last year in their league, and I'm sure they'll do well next year. But I think, as you say, possibly because they've had a great investment or sponsorship has allowed them to do that, and it's not every club has got that ability to do that.
Another one from online. I suspect the answer to this one is probably no, it's down to the rink. But can you do anything to help with juniors getting into games cheaper?
No, that's down to the rink.
I thought as much.
I would ask the juniors to speak to the rink about it. It's more.
They do actually already get in a bit cheaper.
They do already get in
Cards.
cheaper. All right, okay.
They've got the cards.
No. Not being a junior myself, I wouldn't. Is there any questions that might involve Skippy, because he's sat doing nothing? Make him work.
He asked you to ask that, didn't he?
What type of hockey can we expect to see? Is it more offensive or do you prefer defensive?
You talking to Skippy? Oh, Skippy. No, it's been serious. I've always been an offensive player, but I like teams to have good puck protection. I like to control the puck. I don't like players giving it away for no reason. Players to support the puck. You want players who can, obviously, fitness-wise, I spoke to the players earlier on today, is really key for me, because they're not players, they're athletes. They're actually athletes, so they have to be athletes first, and then obviously when they've got the physical side, then it makes the game a lot easier. But for myself, it's basically puck protection, making sure that, one, we're obviously a very good offensive team, but defensively sound as well in all 3 areas of the rink. Because I feel sometimes when you're playing, especially a lot younger players, they get taught a lot of offense, but they're not getting taught as much defense as what is required to move up to the higher levels. So again, we will be working a lot on defense at practice again in the defensive zone to make sure that we're all knowing what we're doing off the puck when we don't have the puck, what we're doing away from the puck. So it's a tough question to say, because obviously a lot it depends on your team. But myself as a coach, we're looking for one, obviously the effort level that's non-negotiable, but obviously offensive team bits defensively sound.
Let's go for another question in the room.
You mentioned off ice and on ice at the same time. Obviously they do the golf day. Kids can't go to that. Are you going to be doing something like a family orientated off ice?
So what family events are we going to do?
Yeah, we're open to anything like that. But we wouldn't be doing the golf day this year because of the timing of us coming in. It's something that Paul and David obviously organised. But yes, we need to look at, and that's where the mascot comes in. Whether it's a kids' Christmas party during the day, within here or whatever with the mascot and some of the players that or whatever, we'll be open to any kind of suggestions that we can do that. But we need numbers.
Lots of questions online. Well, we're live on Warriors TV now, and lots of questions saying, is Warriors TV coverage coming back?
Unfortunately, yes. yes, undoubtedly, because again, that's a platform for us to project to the world. So.
Warriors TV and season tickets are the two big issues, the two big questions on this right now.
Is that Adam Mackman who's typing that in from the back? Is he asking the questions about Warriors TV? Is it?
Typing away there. Any more questions? We have a question back there. Shout up. What's your question?
You talked before about signing 2 more imports potentially. Are we going to have 3 imports in this league, like the league above, coming through? You know how they can play 3 imports at a time now? Do you know if there's any change?
So what you're saying is that they've got 3 imports?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, the rules change that you're allowed 3 imports. Right now, I've just really been concentrating on the British players because I feel that again that's our bread and butter. Imports, you can get them. Sometimes you get better ones down the line if you wait a little bit. So the British players again obviously got them first. And now, you know, obviously with imports, you're allowed 3. For what I can gather, I think they even changed it. They used to be. I don't know if you guys were different in NHL with the goalie. No, but were you allowed the goalie?
I don't think they were allowed an import goalie.
Yeah, but goalie. I think it's changed. I think it's changed now. I think you're even allowed a goaltender. I might be wrong. I know that they were looking at doing the goaltender, but anyway, regardless of that, we're going with 3 outfield players. And for what I can gather, reading it, you can play them on the ice 3 at a time before, rather than used to be the 2 where 1 and 1 went on the ice, which to me was the most confusing rule I've ever seen in my life. Because we had a player who was a forward import and a D import, and when the one jumped on the ice, the other one couldn't jump on ice because they were in different positions. And it was just the most ridiculous. It just confuses everybody. So I'm glad the common sense has prevailed and they're allowed actually to play on the ice at the same time.
Just on that, the difference between NIHL North and NIHL National on that is the type of imports. You're allowed 3 imports in both. The ones in National, you can have ones that require a work permit. You can't have that in NIHL North. So what you're looking at is a smaller gene pool. What you're looking at there is students who are now able to come into the country and be classed as able to play in our league, whereas before a lot of students weren't. People who were here pre-Brexit, who are currently in the country, and those who maybe have dual passports, who do not require a work permit to be in the country. They're still classed as non-British trained, but they don't require a work permit to be here. Whereas in National, you can go and buy your old-fashioned off-the-shelf import and give them a house and a car and all the rest of it. That's not the case here.
Did you understand that, Lee?
Yeah.
You've got a question for Skippy. He's sitting here and he's like, honestly, he's like desperate for a question.
We had an inkling that you may have retired last year. What made you want to come back?
Just for I'll just repeat that for the live stream, Sean. Had an inkling that you might have retired. What happened?
Pick up the mic.
As probably most of the people in this room know, I've had more comebacks than Rocky. It did cross my mind. I honestly did. Obviously, I'm getting a little bit older. But I had a really good chat with Tony. Tony gave me a call and said, you know, this is my vision. Do you want to play? Are you in or are you out? And I made the decision straight away. You know, how can you say no to that? I was really impressed with his vision for the team. And yeah, signed up straight away.
I'm just happy you got to do something this afternoon.
Right, you got to.
Question online. A few years ago, I know we have actually touched on this before. We had player cards, collector cards, and they were very, very popular with the kids.
Yeah.
And someone online has said, "Oh, they're coming back."
Yep. Yeah, well, all those things that can generate income for the club will be looked at and tried to be sourced and
that kind of
developed.
leads us onto the wider issue of, well, not issue, but opportunity for branding and merch as well, doesn't it? Is there anything you can tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to introduce you see the Warriors 1964. There's a bit of debate around this, by the way, and anybody who was here, because even Francis, when I spoke to him, was unclear, because we know that hockey was played before 1964, but according to Andy, the Warriors started in 64, so this season going into 24 is a 60th anniversary, so that's why we're using that Warriors 1964. We're looking to introduce that into some of the merchandise, hats, jackets, scarves, all the kind of things that are kind of cool, and upgrade some of the merchandise as well. We want everything to reflect what we're trying to do. Again, it's a process. Things will come, things will go. I think it was Elaine in one of our many chats about owning loans, talked about player pucks. And something like that is quite cool. You get a puck with a player's face on it, you get signed, but the cost base of that for one player times 20 is huge. So you've got to look at what's the opportunity to do that. Can we do it? Is there going to be a return for the club to put money into the team? Because we don't want to waste any money, but there might actually be a way in which we can do that. And things have changed, and things have changed all the time, where you don't have to bulk order 3,000 cards or 3,000 cups or 3,000 scarves. You can get things now quicker and sooner. So we're going to look at some of those opportunities and take it forward where it makes sense for the club. We want you to look really nice when you're going out on a Saturday night, basically.
Are we open to taking suggestions on the type of merchandise people would like to buy?
No.
Okay.
Yes, of course. But you say it, I would have already thought about it. You know what I mean? Or somebody's already said it to me. Like particularly things, I had to point out to somebody, ice rinks are cold. Jackets, quarter zip fleeces with branded, obviously, different style of hoodies than what they've currently got, full zip, quarter zips, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, things that are worn. At Murrayfield, what we sold the most of was hats and scarves and baseball cap. I think I ended up with about 5 or 6 different baseball caps. I think you've got 1 in 2 different colours. Right, so there's different styles. I know these things because I'm down with the kids. Right, there's different styles, like the trucker one and all the rest of it. These are things that you can get now reasonably cheap that can make money, but it can take a lot of time to develop that where there's other priorities towards the start of the season. But it will happen.
Thank you. I think we've got time for just a couple more questions. Do you have any questions in the room? Is that a question? Are you just scratching your head, Mitch, or is that a natural question? It's a question for Skippy.
Hey.
No.
Have you been chatting to any of the previous Warriors that didn't return last season, like DJ Good and Watson, people like that? Are you trying to get them back at all or not?
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Mitchell. DJ, not so much. I'm in talks with Barnsley, but I'll obviously they're normally kept between me and him. But obviously, Son's just signed for Newcastle, so I'll keep on trying to get Barnsley here.
Question for Skippy online. Does he understand the Scottish accent?
I think. What does he say there? I don't know.
He keeps answering questions with Tuesday.
I'm not quite. There is a question's coming a couple of times. I'm not quite sure what it means. Will there be a new arena structure? I'm not quite sure what that's referring to.
We're not knocking down any walls anytime soon because it's not our facility. So I don't know. I don't know if it's arena team structure or whatever. But hockey changes every day. You know, we're sitting here just now. You wouldn't have thought 3 weeks ago Solway would be in the National League. So, you know, so we could be in NHL next week the way it works with hockey. But no, is not I'm aware of anyway. One thing I would say though, Andy, all of this is about. We need to get sponsorship and we need to get sponsors in. So people go to your work and beat up your bosses and chat them up and whatever and get them in touch. There's forms on the website for sponsorship and then we'll launch the other ones as we go along for player sponsorship and own and loan. But the corporate sponsorship, whether it's taking a board or names on the shirts or whatever or a headline sponsor, we will welcome anyone because we need them to make this thing work and we're all in it together. We have spoken to, just out of interest, we have spoken to existing sponsors as well and the ones we've spoken to so far are quite keen to continue.
So on the subject of sponsorship, if you have any ideas of people who might want to, just tell them to head to whitleywarriors.net and click on the big sponsorship banner on the homepage. I think we've probably got time for, one more question, do you think, maybe? Yeah, one more? We didn't even get one more. All of the questions are online are the same ones. Right, okay, one last question that has just come in. It is a question for Skippy.
It's his wife. It's the wife.
We'll make this will be the last one.
What's for tea?
Would you want to be captain? It's not me, it's them.
Yeah, it's obviously something I've done before in the past as well. I love this club. That's why I'm here. That's why I keep coming back every year. But that decision is up for the coaches, not for me. And if I don't get made captain, then I'll just still be a leader on the team and try and help the young uns as much as I can.
Smashing, thank you, Sean.
Liar.
So I guess that just about wraps it up for this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause. Willie Dunn, Tony Hand, and Sean Kipping. If you want to vote for your favourite shirt, the designs are on the big screen right now. They are also on the website. It's at whitleywarriors.net/vote. So head over there. We crashed the website earlier on. It is working again now, but we did crash it earlier. But we'd just like to say thank you for coming tonight, this afternoon, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you. Goodbye.